Welcome to Club Soda's Mindful Drinking Festival. We're online, global, and as always, absolutely free. Hi, I'm Drew, and I'm one of the co-founders of Club Soda.
And I'm Laura, the other co-founder of Club Soda. We help you change your drinking in ways that help you live well. So whether you're looking to cut down, stop for a bit, or quit, you can find what you need from podcasts and books and courses on joinclubsoda.com. This festival, we've brought you an amazing lineup from over 100 people from across the world.
And our programme this time really is global.
Every day starts down under with me, Sarah. As well as organising the festival in Australia, I spend my time looking for alcohol-free alternatives and tips for people who choose not to drink, but who still want to live a social, fun and adventurous life.
And I'll be wrapping up each day here in the States. I'm Amanda, your US festival host and coordinator, and I'm also a mindset coach who helps women change their relationship with alcohol so that they can start living their most authentic life.
Each day with a rolling programme of inspirational panels, conversations, social events, and opportunities to discover new low and low alcohol drinks.
So whether you want inspiration to change your drinking,
Or to connect with other people,
or you want to discover and enjoy a new low and no alcohol drink,
The Mindful Drinking Festival is for you.
cheers!
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 cheers.
Hi, Danielle here from Botanical.
Hello, my name is Marco from Botanical.
And we're so excited to be live here with Club Soda for the Mindful Drinking Festival, and I've really enjoyed hearing all the talks this week. So maybe a little bit about us and then a little bit about Binary. So I'm Danielle, I'm an engineer, and I've been in brewing since I left university. And I think things have changed quite a lot since then. When we first started working in the beer industry, every Friday, the guys used to go out for lunch on their own and the women weren't invited. So if that gives you an indication of just how male beer was just 20 years ago. And I have to be honest, when I first joined, I didn't like beer at all, but it was the obligatory drink to have. So every time we went out, we'd have beer and enjoy it. So eventually, I must say, I did acquire the taste of beer, and I do rather enjoy a beer. But the secret is that I would always still want to switch to having wine or something with the meal. And so the idea was born to have a beer that would genuinely pair well with food. And I think beer has come such a long way in the alcohol-free space. And there are some amazing beers around that we heard about even just today from Guilt-Free Pints and the Alcohol-Free Beer Club. But there's still a whole lot of people who just don't like beer or have never tried a beer. And so if we could convert a whole lot of people to the benefits of drinking beer and non-alcoholic beer in particular, we think we've come a long way. So enter Binary Botanical, our gluten-free, vegan, wine lovers beer. And so what we've done everything to turn what you know about beer on its head. So the first thing that we do is that we infuse Binary with the leaves of the hops. So just to give you a little show here of what the leaves of the hop plant look like. They look almost a little bit like a tea leaf, I guess. Yeah. And we infuse that into the beer. And what that does is make a very aromatic and tangy beer, but without the bitterness that you would normally have in a beer. And the other thing that we do is we infuse it with a wine yeast, or brew it with a wine yeast, and that gives it a very aromatic Sauvignon Blanc type flavor profile to the beer. So what we find is that people say, oh, I don't like beer, but they enjoy drinking Binary. And the other thing I think we need to think about is how to make adult drinks when you're not drinking. And I always say that if my children were to drink it, then it's probably not a very adult drink. And the reason for that is that we actually, from a sensory perspective, enjoy a lot of complex flavors. At any one time, we can sniff hundreds of flavor compounds down to the parts per million or parts per billion level. So that's the same as like a half a teaspoon in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So a lot of time when people say what they taste, they're actually talking about what they smell. So when you drink something or you eat something, you get this retronasal flavor effect onto your nasal passages, and that's what people say when they taste. So when you're having something which is very simplistic, it's just not very satisfying on your taste buds to give you that flavor complexity. But the advantage is if you're having a brewed product or a fermented product, you've got hundreds of flavor compounds that are hanging around, which make it a much more complex and enjoyable drinking experience. So we think that in order to have beautiful, easy to drink, complex drinks at home, which don't require fancy mixology equipment or hundreds of ingredients, to use a fermented product like Binary Botanical as a base gives you a lot of that adult flavor satisfaction, but without the alcohol. And so I think what Marco is going to show us here, and we've been learning a lot about cocktail making, is you don't have to be a mixologist. You can just have a few simple ingredients, fresh out the fridge, nothing too complicated, something you can just buy at your local Sainsbury's and make delicious cocktails. The other thing about Binary is we are very passionate about living lighter. So live lighter in how you eat, how you drink, how you live on the planet. And so it helps us combine our two favorite things, our passions for moderation and our passions for sustainability. So what we're going to try and do now, and I'm going to be Marco's sous chef, is make 5 50-calorie cocktails in 50 minutes, because the best thing about having an adult drink that doesn't have alcohol is it also doesn't have to be too sweet, because this is a drink for adults, not for children. So these are all low calorie, low in sugar, but absolutely delicious. And all the recipes are on our website. And I'm going to hand you over to Marco, who's actually a proper mixologist, who's going to show us how to make them easily at home.
So first of all, the fact that she's going to be my sous chef means that I have to do all the job.
Hi, there you are.
Just so everyone is aware of it. So as Danielle explained, few simple ingredients, but if you choose the right one, then you basically are a mixologist yourself. So my name is Marco. I'm the brand ambassador for Binary Botanical. I joined this brand straight from the first taste, which happened 2 years ago, more or less, at their restaurant show in London. I fell in love with the product, and I didn't know at the time they didn't do a non-alcoholic version. I'm very proud of the fact that they are doing now, so I can play around as much as I want. And I did enjoy the OBS factor. With the OBS, what you can also add to the scheme is this is a drink, but with those leaves, you can literally make a tea, a real one. You can make bread, which we tried. Yeah. You can make even yogurt, which we tried, and so on and so forth, many other things. But now, let's not indulge too much. Let's start with some drinks. Again, very quick and easy. The first one, we're going to serve it in our glass, so we begin very strongly. So we're going to start with some fresh cucumber, literally just freshly sliced. I'm going to leave it one like this, and one in infusion, and another one in infusion. Here we are. We drop some, we pour some Binary alcohol-free in the glass.
There you are, Marco, all ready for you. That's my job done, the extent of my mixology.
Okay, let it set there for a second. So all the compounds, the aromatic compounds of the cucumber will mix with what is the hops and all the aromatic flavor of Binary. We literally leave it there for count until 10, and then it's job done. Now, rosemary, we like to play with fresh ingredients, but if you want to do a rosemary syrup, which we do, I suggest you to use a Binary to do the syrup. So you use some fresh rosemary, and you can add it. You can add half part of water, based on which is the quantity you want, and half part of Binary alcohol-free. You make a fantastic syrup. You have to set one night in the fridge, and then the job is done. Now, once we have our rosemary in our glass, we mix the both of them. Here we are. A good top up if you want to the top. Now, some ice. I'm going to add it because we're going to drink all of those at the end of the show, which is going to be the best part of today. Here we are.
So the interesting thing about binary, I was listening to all the talks about alcohol-free beer earlier today, and people are doing amazing things using hops to bring different flavor profiles to beer. And I think hops is very much like grapes. Depending on where you grow it and the variety, it can have a massive impact on your overall flavor of your product. So what we've done is we're using leaves to provide that flavor experience. And when you drink the binary, it has a very aromatic notes from the wine yeast, but you also get these slightly herbal notes like the rosemary and pepper notes coming through from the leaves. And that's why it works really, really well with sort of rosemary and cucumber and things like that. And
First
that's
one
it. First
is
cocktail.
done.
So that's
Job
it.
done.
And I did a calorie count on all the cocktails before we started. So there you are, 45 calories in a cocktail, ready to go. And it looks fabulous and it's really easy to make at home.
So I start to pile them here. Don't drink it because it's not fair on me that I have to do it. So second glass, very quirky glass. We're gonna do our orange and mint. So very quick and easy, we pre-squeezed some fresh orange juice. Obviously, you can do it with a regular orange juice, but fresh. Tastes fresh.
And the thing about this cocktail is actually this was a suggestion that came through from a customer to say, thank you, Ali, that do look bad. that they said, oh, have you tried having binary with just a slice of fresh orange and some mint? And it's almost like having a wheat beer where you would add some orange and mint. And because binary has got those sort of wheat beer-like flavors, it really works very well. So it doesn't have to be really complicated to make a nice thing. So you can either freshly squeeze some orange juice, or you can slice some fresh oranges in, whatever you feel like to make a great cocktail.
Now a few mint leaves, you squash them nicely, so you release all the flavor compound. You just leave it in. One tries to escape.
I'm not waiting for the end, Marco.
Yeah. Here we are. Left in infusion for a second. With a drop of our binary alcohol-free. That's one rise.
And I think this is the thing about alcohol-free drinks is that I think a lot of drinking is actually around the ritual of having it in a beautiful glass and having it beautifully presented to you and having it beautifully garnished. And there's no reason why you can't do that with any of the alcohol-free drinks at home. So I'm gonna have to bring this one, I think, closer to the camera to show how gorgeous this looks. You can see Marco's a professional here with the placing of the mint leaves. Oh wow, that looks awesome.
Here we are.
Okay, wait, hang on. I'm gonna have to bring that closer there. So I don't know where the camera is, but there you are. So that is just a beautiful, simple cocktail. Orange, freshly squeezed orange, some mint, and some orange rind and fresh orange. And that one is about 52 calories. So really, if you think about a block of chocolate or a whole bottle of beautiful binary in a fabulous cocktail glass, I think it's a really easy choice. And the third cocktail, which one are we going for, Marco?
So we're going for the passion fruit one. So we go for a very nice touch of summer, very seasonal. We're going to use fresh passion fruit. So I emptied one passion fruit. You can do even with half. It depends how much you like passion fruit. I do very much like passion fruit. So I leave it at the end of the glass. I add a drop of our binary alcohol-free.
And if you're too lazy to use fresh passion fruit like I am, it works really, really well just using some passion fruit syrup that you can buy, some Monin or some Tessier or anything like that works just as well. 5 to 10 mils of that with the binary.
I'm going to add a touch of freshly squeezed lemon juice. You can even use lime if you want. It's just a bit more aggressive in terms of acidity. So it really depends how you like it. Now a little stir. Here we are.
And I think you can actually just play around as well with different fruits and stuff. So you can have your freshly pressed fruit with the binary for some really easy cocktails.
Now, a touch of creativity. So turmeric, yeah.
So when Marco first suggested turmeric in the cocktail, I thought he was nuts. but actually it is so good. And that's sorry, I'm saying I agree here with Ali that the having a ritual with the drinking is really important, because you want to have that sense of occasion, and I think it's a lot of the time what you're looking for when you're celebrating or something like that.
Now, one tip for whoever is at home, I'm sure you've done it already, but I'm going to talk to everyone that hasn't done it already. So if you have some berries in the fridge, instead of binning the shell of the passion fruit, garnish on the glass like this. I had some blueberries just because I'm a fan, and they are very healthy, by the way. And because of the color combination, I'm going to add a drop of mint.
And we've deliberately done this at a table, not at the bar, just to show how easy it is to make these awesome cocktails at home. Yeah, Zana, honestly, the turmeric and passion fruit is so good. And I'm just going to hold it closer here as well so you can see that. So I think garnishing it with a fresh passion fruit really works. And then the turmeric, you've got this really brilliant adult cocktail, which tastes so good.
Next one, we're going to do a take on a very much classical you can find in any bar, any restaurant, any hotel in the world, which is a peach Bellini. Yeah, usually peach Bellini features, depends on the recipe, you can do any sparkling that you like, because regardless what the book says, what is your taste is your taste. Which in fact, we're going to use this sparkling of our choice. So we're going to add some white peach puree.
So we didn't want to waste time on the live, but literally just blitzing it up in a NutriBullet or something like that. And I think particularly when you get to Christmas time and you're looking for some celebration drinks and everyone's having champagne and all that kind of a thing, what do you drink if you're not drinking and you still want something which is adult? Because I still think, you know, the options often feel like they're just sparkling apple juice, which doesn't quite hit the sense of occasion. And I'm too busy talking, so I'm not opening markers.
No, it's no problem.
There you are.
Here we are. So now, as tradition, we're gonna just add our sparkling of choice without any addition of ice, even because I can tell you that for this mocktail, ice is bad. You dilute the flavor, and you don't want to do that. What you want to do is that, especially if you've done your homemade peach puree, which I hope you will do, obviously, you might have to adjust it of a tiny bit of sugar, depends on your taste. But apart from that, you will just literally spend a good 10 seconds, voila, stir it in order to increase the foam. And as soon as the foam reaches literally more than half of a glass, that means that the two drinks have been combined together. Now they are married and ready to drink.
Okay, and if you're lazy like me, and even the thought of NutriBulleting a peach seems like far too much effort, but you still want the good drink, a little bit of grenadine and some orange juice is not a bad substitute, and you can get some lovely color layers going there. But that to me looks like a super creamy, delicious drink, and I think I'd rather be drinking that than a champagne at Christmas time. So
this one I purposely left without garnish, because for me doesn't need any. But again, if you have bought some peach, leave a slice of it, cut it, the slice in half, place it on top of the rim of your glass, and it's job done. Shall we move to the
next one? Yeah.
Next one.
So I'm gonna have a go at Marco here, but he always says binary loves berries, and
indeed,
I think it's true. Anything berry,
quote unquote,
quote unquote, anything berry related is so good. And so the nice thing about that, if you've got leftover fruit or anything, or even jam, we've done some with some jam. All you need to do is swap your fresh fruit with jam and apple cider vinegar to give you a really nice cocktail. So, we're not in the US yet, unfortunately, but we've had so many emails over the last few days from people at the festival saying we're available in the US. So I think we need to be having a look at it. So it is really good.
We will. I will fly personally to the United States and meet all of you. So for the next one, we took advantage of the summer and we took advantage of Wimbledon. So this year, unfortunately, due to coronavirus, Wimbledon didn't happen. But what happened was a strawberry picking. So we took advantage of it, and we created our super berry recipe featuring binary. So I sliced the equivalent of a couple of strawberries. You can be even greedy and do 3, as you please. You can slice it as big as you like, because in the end, we're going to crush it anyway. So we're going to add a tiny bit of our binary. And with the help of our muddler, or as I always say, if you don't have a muddler, help yourself with a soup spoon. It will do the job in a bit more time, but it will do the job.
The ABV of the product is 0.5%.
Voila. If you like more of a, if you have more of a sweet tooth, then please help yourself and add some sugar syrup, even elderflower if you're fun, or you can be cheeky and add some like strawberry syrup to it. Again, I always suggest to do your syrup homemade, only because you can control the sugar that you add to it.
Now, I'm so biased, but this is my favorite cocktail by far. So someone's saying the idea of turmeric sounds really good. It is really good. A dry January cocktail competition, so we can't take complete credit for it because it was Vlad, hey?
Yes.
He used turmeric in his cocktail, and when we got the recipe, we thought, oh, it sounded so strange, but so good. And I think that's the thing, when you're without alcohol, you still want that complexity and interesting flavors. And something like turmeric is far more for an adult palate than it is just having, I don't know, just sweet things.
Now, because I want to add a touch more of flavor, this is literally a personal twist that you can use, you can not use as you prefer. You can use either fresh thyme if you don't want such a strong takeover from the thyme, but because I very much like the combination of flavor, and we tried anyway, I'm going to add some homemade thyme syrup. Obviously, this thyme syrup has been made half part of water, half part of binary, and infused thyme, so there is no sugar added, because again, I try to stay as low as possible from adding sugar.
So there's a question here about, should we be drinking, how do you drink binary, more on its own or as a cocktail? Personally, I love it just on its own, but I'm South African and we drink everything with ice, so I love having it just over ice on its own like that. But I think one of the reasons we want to show the cocktails is that if you've got a fermented product like binary as a base, it could also be a non-alcoholic sour beer or a wheat beer or something like that. It lends itself so well to making these delicious cocktails. And so the idea of using beer as a mixer to create that adult complexity, and it's so easy, and they really are delicious.
I'll let you present it then.
Oh, nice. So now I'm going to have to swap now the cocktail that I'm drinking for this one. So the thing about that is it looks so lovely with the colors and the strawberries, and it is so, so good. So as I said, strawberry jam and some apple cider vinegar if you don't have fresh strawberries, but at the moment they're in season. Just grab a couple.
Take advantage of it.
Especially even if they're looking slightly dodgy, just squish them into your glass and enjoy.
Please, take advantage of it. Okay, shall we do the extra? Let's say what we were not prepared for.
Well, so the other thing I absolutely love with binary is ginger, and was chatting to Tom from Wise Bartender, and they stock Gimba, which I love. So we thought we would do a Gimba and binary ginger and pear cocktail because it's one of our favorites. So yeah.
So we're gonna add straight up the Gimber. Again, we are doing free pouring because we want to make you comfortable with the fact that binary is your home drinking. Yeah, you literally can make all the cocktails that we did today, cocktails and mocktails alike. You can make it in your own kitchen with your the ingredients that you have in the fridge. You don't need any tool. So I'm not going to use any spoon or anything, but indicatively, I will stay between the 20 and 25 ml serving, because there's a quite strong ginger impact. So
there's a comment here saying about drinking binary over ice. I have to say, especially in this lovely hot weather we're having it over ice is really good. And we are having fun. How can you not have fun with making cocktails, all these delicious cocktails around?
So I'm a fan of short time infusion. So this is some freshly sliced pear. Try to pick one that is slightly on a sweet breed, because obviously you have to rebalance the fact that ginger is quite settled spice, and then with binary there is these green all sort of aromatics there, compounds that are coming in. So we leave it infused there for a second. We add in a bit of our binary. We leave it there for another second, which again, when you have me in your kitchen, is not a problem because I talk way too much. So you're not going to stay there counting time.
Yeah, we're
don't
going to
worry.
keep an eye on the time.
So I'm going to add some ice now.
So there's a question to say, how do we describe the taste of binary? It's a really good question. So I would say that if you think you'd normally like beer, I really suggest giving it a whirl. So it's very tangy, not quite as tangy as kombucha, but certainly on the tangy side. It's quite dry because it's also sugar-free. And from a flavor profile perspective, you'll pick up things like passion fruit, peach, grapefruit, all those sort of tropical fruit flavors that come through. And then because we infused it with the hop leaves, a bit like a tea infusion, I guess, that gives you a slightly herbal taste. And I think the herbal taste is nice as well because it gives it takes it away from the sweet side of the spectrum and closer to the beer side. So think like a sour beer.
Or if you are a wine drinker, think about a perfect. Have you ever thought about? I am a fan of Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. I am a fan of Sancerre, which is Sauvignon Blanc from Val de Loire in France. I wish I could have a wine that tastes like the both of them.
Which doesn't have any alcohol.
Who doesn't have any alcohol? Okay, that is it. It's not wine, yeah. And this is what it is. So there is no gooseberry, let's say, aggression or aromatic compound which contradistinct Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. There is no that soft minerality that contradistinguishes Sauvignon Blanc from Val de Loire, but the both of them combined are in this. So a very soft aromaticity, a very high freshness, and especially these very soft grassy green compounds. Yeah. As well as Danielle says, some passion fruit.
You can see Marco's a sommelier, I'm the brewer, so my explanations are much more, it's not better. But I will say that when we go to restaurants and stuff like that, we talk about binary, particularly the chefs would say they almost describe it as a palate cleanser because it's so fresh and so clean that it's a really good option to have with food, and it's also not quite so as sort of sparkling and doesn't compete with what you're eating. There's a question here: would we do a binary and gooseberry mocktail? I think it's rather good.
Yes.
I think you might have to add a little bit of elderflower or something like that to counteract the gooseberries.
Yeah,
but
possibly,
it would be delicious.
Honestly,
would be delicious.
Anything
with berries and binary is absolutely delicious.
So when Danielle has finished talking, you have to introduce the last one. I'm here working like, you know.
Normally Marco's a chatter and I'm doing all the chatter. Well, first of all, there you are. How fabulous does that look? Some freshly sliced pear and then the ginger. And I haven't tried it with the gimba before, so we're going to have to see how that works.
If you want to surprise your friend at home and you are making this drink for them and they have a very sweet tooth, a little tip. Into a glass, pour some sugar, even castor sugar, simple, diluted with some binary, put it in your microwave for 30 seconds, let it become very liquid, then use a little brush, a little kitchen brush, and then dip it into the liquid, spread it on your pear, lay dry for a good 10 minutes, even 5 if you live in a very sunny and hot place in the world, and then put it as a garnish as I did, because that will be crunchy, be sweet, and it literally is going to be a drink and eat. So chips, pear chips.
This is outstanding. outstanding. So if you do want to head over to Wise Bartender to buy the Gimba and the binary to make this at home, it is so good.
I will do it now, like if I was you, but no rush.
So that's it, and I think that's actually 6 cocktails in 15 minutes, and we are completely on time. And I think that just says that you could host a lovely, dinner party at home with some really interesting cocktails with only really simple ingredients, and to cater kind of for everybody's taste. So I don't know if there's any more questions around how we make binary, because if it's anything beer related, I can talk forever about it. Or maybe one more point to make about binary. I think Marco was saying he was so excited when he saw that we had an alcohol-free version. And the reality is it took us a lot longer to get the alcohol-free version right, because a lot of non-alcoholic beers are delicious, but they rely a lot on hops to give you that body and flavor. So to try and come up with a non-alcoholic beer that was low in bitterness but still felt like it was a satisfying adult drink just took us a little bit longer. Yeah. But now we think we've got it. We think it's pretty good. Do more women drink cocktails than men? I don't. Probably. Mocktail,
most definitely. Cocktail, sweet, I will say. Sweet base, more with on a sweet line. Cocktail, then I will say definitely yes. Wine, I don't know. Bit of both, but it even depends on which country you're from. What is more traditional in your country is like, this one is very traditional in Europe, but Danielle will have it with ice, for example.
Yes.
It all depends. Heritage, habits, but I will say on average, yes. Ladies prefer cocktails more than prefer to indulge in one more cocktail.
I think the thing is about cocktails as well is that we've been researching cocktails for binary. Sure, a lot of them are quite calorific.
Yeah.
So that's how I wanted to go for the 50-calorie cocktails, because really that's not so bad. And at the moment, if you want to try binary and have a play with it, it's on special on Wise Bartender at the moment until the end of the festival. For every bottle of binary you buy, you get one for free. And honestly, if you think you're not a beer drinker, give it a whirl. It is really delicious. And we had the Robin and Matt talk about it earlier, and I think it really is a beer to have with food. So if you're more of a traditional beer person, it's the beer to have with the meal. And if there's no more questions, I think that's probably us done. If there's any more thing, and if you're nervous about trying binary, and not sure if you're going to like it, we do have some sample packs on our website, which have free delivery, so you can give it a whirl. Thank you so much for joining us. We've really enjoyed it.
We really enjoyed it.
And we're going to be drinking all these cocktails now.
Oh, finally. That was about the time.
And please drop us a note or an email if you come up with any other combination that really works so well, because I love getting emails from customers around things
suggesting ideas and
stuff like
anything
that. And we always make them.
Indeed.
The only one I haven't made, if I'm honest, is the one that was with coconut, because I can't stand coconut.
But I can. Please, if you have I'm going to try the gooseberry one. Yeah. I'm going to work on the gooseberry one. Thank you for the tip. It will be shortly on our list of cocktail. And if you have any, literally, as Danielle says, if you have anything that you try at home, please share it with us. We're more than happy to accept suggestion, feedbacks, new ideas. Literally, fantasy is limitless. So please.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining, and we hope you've enjoyed the festival. And we would certainly be signing up for another one. And cheers till for the next time, hopefully face-to-face post-COVID.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Binary.